Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, my fellow YouTubers, Facebookians. This video, I'm hoping, is short. For you cigar smokers, this one is not for you, so please turn off unless you want to see this video. This video is about genetic women and trans women. Both of them in one category of being selfish, greedy, and arrogant when it comes to choosing their partners, whether it be life partners in marriage, sex partners, or etc. Now, being a trans woman, I've learned that if you find someone and you care for them deeply, you have them, they have you if they care for you. You don't need to sit there and think about being being attractive because, you can have hair removal, you can have breast implants, you can have a vagio or vaginoplasty. You can be yourself. You can make them happy, they can make you happy. You're in a perfect, happy-go-lucky marriage type thing. Or you can be a genetic woman or a genetic guy. We'll just put that down there too. Not for any of you cigar smokers. This doesn't appeal to you. You can always post comments about the subject though. Me and Aaron's always talking about the dating scene and etc. You make a pass at a girl and you say they're beautiful. They think you're hitting on them. Even if they're single. You turn around and you just try to be polite. Like, I made a joke once to a woman, and she was talking about Christmas gifts and stuff, and I was going to buy one girl who was overweight, something that she wants. She loves NES, and she's like, oh, I got it last week. Well, okay. And back in my mind, well, saves me some money, but she's a mother with a boyfriend. The guy won't marry her. She's overweight. Her kids are overweight. Nice girl. But anyways... young girl sitting there, and this one woman's talking about, talking about not trusting men. And I didn't get into it, but I always say, oh, you're very beautiful, She always blushes and says, thank you. Well, she made a joke about jewelry, about Christmas, and I'm like, I have no use for jewelry. I mean, a lot of trans women sit there and they have to have, 500 pairs of earrings, like, I'm a real woman. Whereas I know, genetic women that might have only 12 pairs of earrings or less, because they have their favorites. So... a lot of genetic women, and I'm not talking about women that I know, like a close friend of mine, Angela or Heather, but women in general online that some of them have kids, their men run away, and then they're like, oh, I can't get anyone. Well, that's because you have kids, and they don't want to take care of your kids. Then you have the sexy, hot women that sit there and they think they're a model, and they wear thigh highs and pantyhose and showing cigars in their mouth, short skirts, and they're like... And then you get the guys with the boners saying, oh, I'd bone them any day of the week. Then you turn around and you think, okay, there's a problem with this picture. Well, most women nowadays are going the way of sexy clothes, looks are the best, and they don't look at the people that are disabled or half poor or semi-poor or semi-rich. They want security. They want someone that they can control. They want a woman. A woman wants a guy that they can control. Same with a male to female transsexual. Female to male, they don't care if they drink whiskey. They don't care if they smoke cigars. A genetic female that becomes male, acts more male, tries to pull it off because that's who they are. A male to female wants to do the same thing a woman does. And that is completely wrong. Be yourself. You were born male. You become female. You shouldn't be sitting there saying, oh, I'm a woman, so you gotta listen to me, or no sex. That's what a genetic woman does when they get pissed off at the guy. The guy's gotta go buy him candies and roses and jewelry just to make up. Thing is, in this day and age, more and more men are looking for sexual partners than freaking getting married. Because frankly, you get a woman pregnant, you're paying child support. You get, multiple partners. As long as they know they get tested, they can go and bang a girl at night because they got the money for it and they are a player. Mostly nowadays, the men want a woman with either the perfect hourglass figure, perfect boobs, or breast implants. And the men that do want to get married sometimes wants a woman that can satisfy them, and they tell the woman, well, you got to wear a short skirt every night, you got to wear black hose, you gotta wear red shoes, or white shoes, or black shoes, or whatever. And he wants to mold her into his dream girl. But eventually he throws her under the bus because he wants a younger model. So he goes out and gets a younger model. When he's 80 years old, he's sitting there in a nursing home going, well, I had plenty of women in my time. But the woman got all thrown under the bus because the guy had the money, had the looks, but then one day he let his body go. He's got a beer belly and whatever. Or the genetic women, they sit there, and I know trans women is just as nasty, that turns around and says, I need a man that keeps their body nice, doesn't smoke, doesn't drink, will love sex, needs to have a 6 or 8 pack, drives at least a Lamborghini or a Ferrari, Corvette's minimum. And then I see a disabled person like Aaron making a pass 7 years ago to a woman who's overweight that says, oh, you're not my type. Goes and dates some skinny, scrawny guy. Gets pregnant, by the way. Has a kid with him. But the guy's already married with 4 kids. He's looking for an American girl to have sex with. She's like 400 pounds. He's like 130 pounds. He's sitting here. He just wants a nice hole to stick it in. He gets her pregnant. Guess what? Aaron offered himself friendship. Turns it down. Turns around. The woman's sitting there and says, oh, well, I need someone with looks and money and someone who can support me in my belly. So Aaron sits there. Aaron talks about girls with video games. Oh, video games are in the past. You need to move on. Well, Aaron's got an IQ that's high. He likes talking about books. I don't like reading. Talks about music CD. Oh, these are the great artists today. What happened to the artists from the 60s and 70s? I mean, Aaron's talking about are classical singers. Oh, museums are boring. Today's day and age, the woman has only one thing in mind. Security. Security and looks. What if the man's looks go? Then what? You see women in their 30s looking for a guy in their 20s or 30s with good looks. You see a man in his 50s or 60s. He's already the pass of his threshold that he's looking for a woman that's gone through all this stuff already and says, oh, well, and the woman verily in her 40s or 50s realizes she's not that hot chick she was and everything in a bag of chips. So she goes and finds someone to settle down with. The time she does, she's whittled her whole life away, being either a whore, a prostitute, a hooker, a call girl, or a slut. And then she settles down with some guy who's already had 10 kids, and she's had none, or maybe 2 or 3. But she's finally settling down after she thinks she can have all the security she wants. You look at her retirement? None. She's looking for a guy that has a retirement, maybe an elderly guy that's retired or almost retired. There you go. It's all about security or money or looks. Nowadays, most of the people in life skills, special education, they don't get anyone. I've talked to people, old friends that I've tried to check up with at school. Some of them I've tracked down through Facebook. Still single. No one wants them. They have Asperger's, or they have Down syndrome, or have this. Too much of a hassle to have. Then, you got someone like Aaron. IQ perfect. Everything perfect. No one wants to give him time of day. He's got a belly on him. A service dog. Me, if I was a genetic guy, people said, oh, even if you were a genetic guy, Aries, I still wouldn't date you. Thanks. So, nowadays, well, and you ask why? Oh, well, you don't have money. You don't have the looks. Father didn't have the looks, but my father still ended up with women. In this day and age, it's all about the money or the looks. That's it, money or looks. Bible talks about it in the last days. This is what women will be looking for. Heck, look at my aunt. One of my aunts, she's Japanese. She's married to a guy that's almost 70. He wants to have death knock on his door. They've been married over 35 years. Their marriage is still strong, even though, you know, sometimes you think they're struggling. My other aunt and uncle, down in Texas, they've been married for so long. Again, look at them. They've held together. They know what values are. My other aunt, who's Mormon, values, pretty good. Nowadays, there's no values. Values are dead. My mom even taught me the values have to be upheld by people like me and like Aaron, or the values die. So one sister, she's divorced once, dated 3 guys. She's on the 4th guy that I know of since she got divorced 20 years ago, 25 years ago. Guess what? She's found a rich guy to shack up with. Oh, he takes care of me. He's got the money. He doesn't have the looks, but he's got the money. So if you don't have looks, you still get the money. That's the way it is. If you don't have looks or money, you get jacked. If I had the money, more likely I'd be used for the money over me being transgendered. Now, if I had no money, no one would want me. If I didn't have any money and I was, which I'm a poor minister and a speaker of God, if I didn't have the money, which I don't, but if I did, I'd be used either for the money until the money ran out because I'm transsexual, or B, they'd still turn me down because I'm transsexual. Now, if I had the money, no looks, and was wealthy and male, they might turn on it, but they'll hold back certain things, sex, this and that. Maybe they're a trophy-looking woman, and then people say, "Oh, well, you have a trophy-looking woman, but you had to pay for her." Love's not there anymore. Whether it be transgendered male to females or genetic women, love's not there anymore. You see a genetic guy is the same way. He wants a woman with huge breasts, blonde, brunette, redhead, molds it into whatever they want. Then you got the female to male guys. They just want love. They just want happiness. Maybe they fell in love with a girl that they've known over the years and they finally told them how they felt. Maybe the girl turns around and says, "Well, I know you're female to male and I can't accept it, but we can be friends." Or they turn around and say, "Oh, we can try." Instead, they end up getting married. 30 years later, they're husband and wife still. Whereas the male to females, "Well, I need a woman with a 6 or 8 pack that drives a Beamer," basically. But here's the thing. The longer you wait, and you know, the more deceitful you are as a female or male to female, the more likely you're going to not get anyone. If you're honest, you're fine. If you put your standards low where everyone can have a chance, you're fine. Same with a genetic woman. But eventually you age like an old suitcase. And when you do, some women who's thin as hell start to plump out and look like Groomhilda from Germany. It's like, are you going to eat that? You know, or Giselda, or whatever you call it. You know, Hilga, the overweight overseer, who's like, "We're going to eat that." But before then, they were like the Swedish bikini team, huge breast implants in there. "Hi, I'm Helga," but when they say her, "I'm Helga," but maybe she didn't get married because, well, she wanted someone with money or looks or both, so she didn't get her ideal man. Instead, now she's plumped out, 60 years old, single, being like, "I should have done it." Then she finds someone that loves her for her personality, even if she is a plumper. Or, you know, even if she aged like an old suitcase to a point where she looks very bad. But someone, you know, realizes at that age, the guys that realize that wants to settle down with a plumper or someone who's aging very old, you know, that isn't young anymore, realizes that they were the same as them. They chased the wrong tail. They wanted to get laid many times. They could have had a trophy wife, but trophy wife disappears. And when it does, what do you get? Just an empty shell. A friend of mine told me once, looks might be pleasing and sexually and physically and mentally satisfying, but a good personality goes all the way. Good personality never ages, but the body does. And when the body does, you ended up with a wrinkly, rotten old skin, or as Christopher Walken said, a flesh bag with nothing. You're by yourself in this world with nothing. Maybe you have friends and family you can vent to, but you have nothing. Your looks went away. Maybe you have a bad personality too. Most of these women do, male to females especially, and genetics. I've met only 3 or 4 genetic women that have a damn good personality. Everyone else, they won't give you the time of day because they want looks or money. Then you see why some guys turn out to alcohol, to booze, to drugs. They know they're not going to get anyone. Then you got someone like Aaron's best friend who watches this. Hey Josh, how you doing, by the way? Who basically thinks, you know, maybe he can get some preppy stoner girl, you know, and end up having, you know, fun. Well, that's great and dandy. I hope you find one, you know, that might be on coke or crack. That's a good dream. Hell, my sister's got a niece who's 22 that is always on crack and coke. Heck, she stole a lot of Aaron's crap in Aaron's place when Aaron put him up for 2 days. All his very rare video games gone. You had to support the crack habit. And the meth habit, by the way. But, oh well, you know, she might give you the time of day. Who knows? She's 21 and likes to steal. Stole some stuff at Walmart, apparently, under Aaron's eyes. But Aaron basically said the damage is done. What the hell? So there you have it, for all of you out there. Even my niece and my sister are stuck-up bitches. My other sister in Alaska looks like a butch lesbian. My other sister's got a good heart, who's overweight. Very good heart. She deserves someone too. Then the other two sisters, I don't know what happened. But guess what? Point is one of them, with her niece, is a stuck-up bitch. Thinks rich people should take care of her, the poor should be shafted. Just like a lot of these people that say the poor should be dead. No one wants the poor. No one wants the disabled. No one wants this. Now, if the disabled hit the mega millions, every girl under the sun would want them because they have the money. They don't have the looks, but they have the money. And they can probably manipulate and control all the money and end up putting the poor person, the rich person, in the poorhouse. Because that's the way they think things are. So, with that said, find a woman who's got a good personality. Realize their body's going to age. And when it does, all you got to look forward to is their personality. Now, if you find that someone that's got a good personality and body, and they want family, and they want to raise a family, start raising a family with family values if you have a child, because those children are what will make a parent great. And as long as you keep the traditions alive, and you say a woman who wants a man for looks or money, those aren't the people you want to deal with, because that's the way the world's going right now. Even the plumpers like Aaron was hitting on and making passes at turned him down because he was overweight and the service dog. What type of world do you want to live in? So, a lot of these women, they're high maintenance, and they're high maintenance till they get into their 40s or 50s when they decide to cut their hair short because they realize what the hell. And by this point, let's just say they've had 5 or 6 breast implant revisions so they can keep their implants nice. Eventually they'll take them out, sew up the thingy there, and just have their natural shape that they had back then, because at that point they know they can keep paying the bill for the implants, but no one's going to want them because, well, their attitude sucks, or their priorities, or as Aaron said, their selection of men are so high on the totem pole that they're not going to find anyone. In this day and age, we need to let people know that it's out there. Women and genetic men and trans women are 99% selfish, including overweight women too, who want a guy with a 6-pack. If a guy with a 6 or 8-pack wants an overweight woman, that's fine. But if a guy with a 6 or 8-pack knows he's got the body, just like a woman's got the body for the man with the great body will go with the woman with the great body, even if the woman's body's plastic, even if the man had plastic, they will shack up. And the overweight woman might not get anyone. And even if there's a nice overweight guy that says, well, it doesn't matter what you are weight-wise, the overweight woman still has a fantasy that she's going to find a guy with a 6 or 8-pack, has money, and will take care of her, even if she has kids or not. It's all about money and security nowadays. So, now for some of you out there, if you watch this video this far, you cigar smokers, please poll in, as I would say, with comments, because I'd like to hear your opinion. Most of you are probably married with 10, 15 years under your belt or more. I'd like to hear from you, because frankly, in this day and age, from my point of view, not being a trans woman, but being a person in general, I see this happen all the time, and me and Aaron get disgusted. That's why we go with our music, our movies, our books, our video games. We like to zone in to those. We like to try to ignore things, but sometimes things bother us to the point where we need to speak about it. So, please comment in the comments. For the rest of you out there, please add and subscribe if you like. Please post comments. Please leave feedback, suggestions. Thank you, and may God bless the world.